Welcome frequent flyers to this very special edition of Shanghai Fly Review. Tonight I'll be spending my birthday on board Cathay Pacific's first class from Boston to Hong Kong. Tonight is a very special night as I'm about to fly for the very first time on my birthday. Cathay Pacific is the very last flight of the night, leaving from the International Terminal E of Boston Logan Airport. First class counter and security was all empty, and I was able to arrive in airside within 10 minutes. From there, I proceeded towards the British Airways lounge, which is located above the main terminal floor along with other lounges. Unlike departing from New York JFK, Cathay Pacific passengers in first class share the same lounge as the ones in business class and elite members. The a la carte dining is reserved only for the usage of British Airways first class customers. Since Cathay is the only airline using this lounge at 11 p.m. with approximately around 50 passengers, they could tell the food selections with only some traditional British Airways cold sandwiches served along with one hot main course in a buffet style. The interior space of the lounge is cozy and large enough for the very little crowd on board the Cathay 777. However, I have to say it is a bummer after having flown Cathay in first class out of JFK, where you are entitled to arguably the best airline lounge in America. Since the entire first class cabin was empty except for my companion and I, we proceeded downstairs for boarding later than usual. I really feel sorry for all the other passengers stranded in the interminable line next to me.
Thank you. Have a nice flight. Enjoy. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Mr. Moon, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Mr. Moon,
Yes.
by chance is today is your birthday?
Pardon?
Is it your birthday?
Yes, March
Happy birthday
14th.
to you.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
most welcome. We are able to load you the birthday cake because
Okay.
you
Yeah.
pre-order for the birthday
Yes,
cake.
I did.
Yes.
Is it not loaded or?
Yes, because they told me,
Yeah.
the grandson told me you're on last night's flight.
Last night?
Yeah. You make the reservation last night?
No, I booked a week ago through the phone agent, but why don't we just go there and then thank you? We don't want to block the aisle. Sure.
This is a seat. Yes, we have two in first class.
Yes.
One here and one here.
Yes.
And there's if you like to
I'm
choose
actually
any
traveling
seat.
with her, so we're
Okay,
together.
Okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Before I explain the mishap about the cake, please allow me to introduce you to Cathay Pacific's first class cabin. Boeing 777 is the only aircraft equipped with these extremely wide first class suites. Cathay has installed a total of 6 of these on every aircraft in a 1-1-1 configuration. I pre-assigned my companion and I 1 Alpha and 2 Alpha for optimal privacy, since there is a partition blocking off the center pair of seats on the left-hand side. Each individual first-class suite occupies the length of 3 full windows with enormous widths that can comfortably fit 2 people. I took the ottoman seat at my companion's suite 1 Alpha for a welcome drink, which was a glass of Krug 2004. a very impressive vintage champagne to be served while on the ground. So now going back to my conversation with the in-flight service manager regarding my cake. My birthday is March 14th, so I now have booked this Cathay Pacific First Class flight leaving on March 13th from Boston, arriving to Hong Kong on the 14th of March, solely for the purpose of making a birthday flight review and to show all of you how Cathay treats its gold member in first class on a special occasion. I contacted the Marco Polo Club agent a week prior to my flight and I ordered and paid $50 for a in-flight birthday cake, which is a commodity clearly listed and priced on Cathay's website. However, I was later informed that Boston Ground missed my order because of the oversight. As an elite flyer with Cathay and a customer who actually paid to celebrate a special occasion, this was a very poor and inadequate explanation anyone would expect from a five-star airline, regardless of the fact that my companion and I are the only first-class passengers on the super light load flight. A quick but sumptuous supper was served right after takeoff with caviar and free-flow vintage champagne. The catering in Boston is overall a letdown, particularly on the codfish, which was absolutely disastrous. At the end of the meal, the in-flight service manager and the other two senior pursers in first class presented me with the improvised birthday cupcake and sang me a birthday song, which was absolutely one of the top moments I have ever had on an airplane. It's simply incredible to me how Cathay's impeccable and experienced crew totally made up the mess of the Boston ground, who they should have never been blamed on. The in-flight service manager on my flight has worked at Cathay for over 31 years, and she is a responsible and caring lady who felt profusely sorry for my circumstance and even arranged 3 ground crew expecting us at the jet bridge to follow up the mishap. People, they make an airline. I think this slogan by Cathay is the best description of their world-leading crew. This is once again the only reason that I still stick with Cathay through their hardest times with cost cut and service reduction. So here I am inside my custom spot, the largest lavatory on this entire Boeing 777, right behind seat 12K of business class cabin. Even though I am sitting in 2A in first class today, I still wasn't hesitate to come back to this one to change into my comfortable high pajama provided for all first class passengers. This is unarguably the most spacious lavatory on the entire plane, and I would absolutely recommend you to use this even if you're in first class, if you intend to change your clothes or anything. Now let's head back into the cabin and enjoy one of the best beds in the sky. After napping one of the comfiest beds in the sky, I freshen up again to enjoy Cathay Pacific's first class service. With 6 hours left in a 15 hours flight, I decided to go through the new business class menu and ending up ordering a laksa noodle from the back. I cleaned up my palate with a bowl of fresh berries with rose water. After a movie and another nap, I woke up at around 2 hours till landing, and my table was immediately set for a dim sum breakfast. One good thing about an empty cabin is that you can pair every dishes with caviar, and one of my favorite combination is with dim sum. We were descending into Hong Kong when I concluded my breakfast, at which point I also handed in my compliment letter to the in-flight service manager. I have to say that despite the mishap in Boston, this birthday flight on board Cathay Pacific is still an amazing experience. Cathay Pacific's consistently impeccable service in first class once again proved itself on my flight, with 3 professional crews taking care of us the entire time. I can't wait to be back in this cabin in the near future as we entered our final approach into runway 07 right at Hong Kong. With another connection flight to Shanghai, please continue watching my next video on board Cathay Dragon to discover Cathay's response to my missing birthday cake. Last but always, thank you for watching, and please leave your verdicts in the comment section and subscribe to follow up with all my trips.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hong Kong. It is a safety requirement that you remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Please be careful when opening the overhead compartments and silence and sign may fall out. Kindly please ensure that you have all your belongings before leaving the aircraft. Mobile phones and portable electronic devices with cellular functions may now be switched on. On behalf of Captain Andrew Stewart and Suzanne Lovett, it is a pleasure to have you on board. Thank you for flying Cathay Pacific, a member of the One World Alliance, and enjoy your stay in Hong Kong. Good morning.